Hey folks, it's Rod with Powell Group. Today is Monday, November 2nd, the day before the election. I did want to jump on and just do a quick 5-minute or so lunchtime midday update. So let's take a look at QQQ as QQQ was lifting up most of the broader market today, and we saw some weakness in XLF and XLE to begin the day. But one thing I wanted to highlight here on QQQ and Amazon that gave us a heads up was QQQ into the beginning of the day. We saw a nice gap up open and bulls were strong right out of the gate. Like I said, we looked to XLF and XLE, which were going down this morning. So QQQ was doing the heavy lifting to keep SPY afloat this morning. But then we hit 273.52, and then we hit a double top here of 273 and 44. That's close enough for a double top, and you can see we had a fairly decent follow-through reaction from that double top. And another reason why we could expect that that was coming was Apple was at the high of the day, all the major tech was at the high of the day. Amazon straight into a low of the day was a huge red flag that we saw in the beginning of the morning. And then we also saw the double top on QQQ, which happened right around 15:15 Universal Time. So let's take a look at 15:15 over here, and you can see, like I said, QQQ's hitting a new high of the day, going for that new high of the day with the double top that hit, and Amazon was breaking to new lows. And now let's just take a look at the Apple chart, very similar to Amazon here. So that was a red flag to be watching and a huge clue to begin the day. And now we're seeing the exact same thing with Apple. Straight into a new low of the day as well. Amazon losing 3,000 psychological support, which is very notable. Personally, I'd be holding off on any tech entries until after the election. I just posted it in the group here this morning as well, but essentially said I'd be holding off on any positions, something fishy going on, DXY, the US dollar index bouncing. I would personally be holding off on any longs until after the US election. Today I'm playing MJ, looking for some decent run up and hype into the election. Sold most of my positions, looking to re-add cheaper. And I plan on swinging MJ tonight. And I will go heavy, swing tonight, and then I'll look to trim before the end of the day tomorrow, and then just ride profits for potential Biden win and some hype and euphoria leading up into that. And keep in mind that the election is tomorrow, but we could see a few days, and if it is a contested election, we might get some data as to, and if you recall the Hillary and Trump election, it looked like Hillary was winning right going into the end of the day on election day, but then the next day we found out, that Trump actually won. So we can't go by what the pre-data is saying. We want to be sure that we allot a few days, or it may even be by the weekend. And if there is any kind of back and forth or any kind of confrontation or just overall controversy around it, and there's any pushback from the Trump administration, then it could be a week, could be 2 weeks, but personally I'd be expecting some results toward the latter part of this week. So it's pretty much all I had for you guys. Another thing we're watching on Amazon as well is this weekly head and shoulders, which I highlighted in my video before. That looks like it's playing out quite nicely. And if we do break this neckline down here around the 2871 level, then that's going to be a notable bear break, and that could line up well with this election. One thing I wanted to highlight as well is gold's getting a bounce underway, which was not surprising. I mentioned in my previous video, we touched that support line, and that would hit a low of 1860. That's when I covered most of my shorts on SPY and QQQ, expecting a bounce. And like I said, today, we do have that resistance line here as well. We had a high of 1895 with the resistance line right around 1900. So I wouldn't want to see us break 1900 to maintain that weekly descending triangle pattern. And it's getting very tight. So we could break, could be this week, could be next week, could be the week after, could essentially go sideways for another 2 to 3 weeks and tighten up into this range. But it's getting interesting. And bulls looking to top out here potentially at EMA 12 resistance, which looks like it is happening now. But bulls will want to get as big of a bounce as they can on the daily to form a daily higher low and higher high to change that daily trend bullish. But they're going to have to fight with EMA 12 and then this downward sloping resistance line from the descending triangle. Oil getting a bounce underway today as well. SPY, let's just take a quick look at SPY and QQQ on the weeklies. So SPY, we did hold that support of 319.80. So weekly downtrend has yet to be confirmed. On the daily, we do have the daily bounce underway with a lower high every candle now broken. But you can see that we do have an upper wick forming and a bit of a doji there on the daily. 4 hour, looking for a 4 hour higher low. Hourly, still haven't changed the hourly uptrend yet. So we're basically going right off the lows here. We did have, actually no, we did have a higher low and higher high here. So most important support on the hourly is 328.98. And just taking a look at the macro indicators. So SPY on the weekly, we are below the 10-week moving average, which is notable. Stochastic and MACD trending down in a hurry. On the weekly, let's take a look at the daily. We are below the 50-day. We are above the 100-day, looking to form a base of support off of that 329.50 100-day moving average. And the 200-day down at 310. So if we do lose 329.50 again, and we see some significant follow through, let's say we lost 322 and 319, then we could look toward the 310 level. And then we also have the weekly 50-day moving, 50 weekly moving average at 311. So 310, 311, definitely a lot of confluence in that level. And I could see that happening going into the election or the end of this week. QQQ on the weekly below the 10-week moving average at 276.40. Stochastic and MACD trending down in a hurry as well. Taking a look at QQQ on the daily, we're above, below the 50-day moving average, trying to bounce off the 100-day at 269.84, currently at 270.07. So it's pretty much showtime right now for the bulls. And if we break below the low of 267.07, the 200-day moving average is all the way down at 241. But we do have support at 260.11 as well from the last weekly higher low. And that's pretty much where we stand for QQQ. So I'll leave it there, you guys. I'm going to do another video at the end of the day. So consider liking the video if you enjoyed today's content. Hit the subscribe, tick the bell. You'll be notified when I go live later on today for another daily market recap. Hope everyone has a great rest of your trading day and stay safe out there. Make sure you establish a game plan and stick to it going into the end of the day, into tomorrow, as we could see volatility ramp up into these elections. Stay safe and best of luck.